Hey crew, it's Ben, and I'm back on another reaction to video. Today we're going to be checking out Jedi Mind Tricks, Razorblade Salvation. This was a request from a viewer, and we're just going to dig in and see what's up.
Sometimes I feel like that I'm cancerous in others' lives. That's probably why I drink at night and sleep till 4 or 5. It's kinda hard walking through life with my distorted eyes. When I was younger, I was stupid and I thought I'd thrive. I thought a lot about everything I said in the letter and questioned whether or not if I was dead you'd be better. You think my shorty would be happy if I never met her? It's too late now, mommy, I could never forget her. Could never forget how she taught me to love. Cause my father and my grandmother is always above. It's glory above, you know that daddy taught me to thug. And every time we was with nanny, she bombarded me with hugs. Man, I'm missing mommy and it's hard to believe that I'm grown and I don't understand it. Why did they leave? Better to die and sleep than never waking sleep. Then linger on and dare to live when the soul's life is gone.
Alright, this was hard. This was hard. Somebody needs to hear this today, so we're going to talk about this today. There comes a point, right, where depression becomes a choice. I can't tell you if you're on the backside of that choice or not, but there is a point where it goes from being something that happened to you to something that you wrap your life around. And when you're dwelling in the thoughts, right, that is choosing that. You may not be consciously choosing that, but when you are deciding that you're just going to sit around and drink it, you're deciding to make that your life. You're making your life decision to be a depressed person. That is not to take away at all from actual problematic depression, which happens. There's chemical imbalances that happen. There are horrifying events that happen. There are things that make you sad. And that is not a bad thing. We are meant to go through those things. We were meant to feel all of those things. But we're meant to get over those things. We're meant to find the happiness on the other side of those things. And if you're dwelling on the bad things all the time, and that is what you're choosing to do, like that is not something that has happened to you at that point. Once you have made the decision that, like, you forget about it for a minute and then you try to remember. Like, that happens. I know that happens because I used to live there. I used to be there. Happiness is not a disease. You do not catch happiness. It does not just come upon you. You have to search it out. You have to cultivate it. You have to nourish it. The way that I nourish it is through my prayers and my meditation sessions. I talk to God and God talks back to me. That's how I deal with my depression every time it happens. And it still happens, but it doesn't happen like it used to. I still get issues. I still have problems. God knows I've still got problems. But I don't let my problems sit on me anymore. When I have those problems and life gets tough, and sometimes life gets really, really tough, I just take it to Him. And that's it sounds trite. It sounds just like something people say to just dismiss you and your feelings, and it's not what I'm doing. I know that depression is a real thing because I've lived through it. I know that choosing to stay there is a real thing. Not everybody is doing that. Almost nobody does that consciously. But you're still making that choice. It is the same choice that the addict makes every time they go to get another score. Every time they pick up whatever it is. It is a choice. You may not like that it's a choice, but it is a choice. Nobody is forcing your hand. You're just choosing the easier route. It is much easier to stay addicted. It really is. Because putting that shit down sucks. Life sits on you and it gets hard and you feel things and you don't have that release. You don't have that escape, right? And then there's the physical symptoms, the shakes and the quivers and the bone aches and the shits. And you crying yourself and you don't know why. You're just crying for the fuck of it. It's all real. But making positive life choices, making the decision to actually deal with the emotions and the underlying causes does much more for you than taking a chemical to get rid of it. And it doesn't matter if the doctor gave you the chemical or if the street side pharmacist gave you the chemical or if you just went into the grocery store and you bought some liquor. It doesn't matter what chemical you're using. If you're using the chemical to get rid of feelings, you're doing it wrong. And unless them feelings happen to be pain, and by pain I mean physical pain, like you broke your finger, or you got herniated discs, or you have something that makes it hard for you to function because of physical pain, then there's reasons for chemicals. But the emotional stuff, except in very extreme cases, which is a very, very tiny minority, you don't need the chemical intervention. You don't need Xanax. You don't need Klonopins. You don't need Valiums. You don't need none of that shit. You don't need cocaine. You don't need pot. You don't need none of that for feelings. You're meant to feel your feelings. You're meant to go through them and understand why you feel that way. You are. I know. This is a rant, but this is a very important one. Choosing to stay in depression. Like, what he's doing in this right here is choosing to stay there. Like, it's dwelling in it. I don't feel a release when I listen to this song. I feel like it's pulling me in. And that's not to take away from the song. To be raw and open like this is a great thing. It just feels to me like it's a choice to dwell. And it could change as we go along. I hope it does. But right now it does not feel that way. Like, better to die and sleep than never wake and sleep. That's true.
Stick around a while. I got a niece and my nephews, they need me round a while. I think they need me cause they hitting that age. And they ain't trying to speak to Lenny cause they spitting they rage. Yeah, and mommy speaking to Lenny, I think my brother need me. And we Italian, so you know my mother love to feed me. And it's the little things you do for me to make it worth it.
I see, that is choosing happiness. Defining the joy in the little things of life is how you find happiness. Hey, this food is excellent. Let's enjoy this moment. This company is excellent. Let's enjoy this company. This conversation is great. Let's enjoy this conversation. That is choosing happiness.
Like when I play a joint that we did and you say it's perfect. And when Jay got knocked, you knew that I was hurt. You told me put all of my heart in the song and it worked. I promised him that I'd be there when he got out the bang. You ain't raised me to be a liar, ma, that's not my thing. I told him that I'd hold him down the whole time that he gone. They kept him locked inside a cage, but that's cool cause he's strong. So mommy, keep that first letter I wrote you on the low. I think I wanna stay alive and see if I can grow.
Alright, I love it. That is a whole flow switch, right? That is a whole different energy right there. I love that. Like, he had me sold on the first one. I was like, man, here we go. Because there's a lot of music out there that wants to hold you down. But I really like the way that this went around, too. And if you keep messing around with darkness, you are the one that's losing. That's it. That's what's up.
The legend is always the
the techniques of enlightenment.
I would so not want to be immortal in this body. Like, even if this particular body were completely functional and I was in my 18-year-old self who didn't know how good he had it, right? Even if that was the case, I still would not want to be immortal. That is a punishment worse than death by a long shot. Now the soul is immortal, but it is not in this experience immortally. Ooh. Ooh. Hi. We're gonna let it play on out because you know how we do. Y'all make sure y'all get back over. This was posted on Izzy LL, so y'all make sure y'all get back over there, give them a like, share, and a sub. Throw them a comment, let them know that you appreciate them distributing the music. I didn't find it from Jedi Mind Tricks themselves, so it is what it is. I had to find it where I could. This was great. Like, it started like I said what I needed to say. Like, it really did have me hooked. Like, I was like, man, this is gonna be one of those. And I was like, fuck it, we just gonna go there because somebody needs to hear it. That's why God brought it to me, right? And so we talked about it, and then he swapped it up and did right exactly what I said. So I love that. That is the message that we need, right? That we need to be choosing happiness. He gave specific examples of choosing happiness. I love that. I love that. That was great. Jedi Mind Tricks, thank you for this. I appreciate it. It's great music, and it is greatly appreciated. To the crew, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate every single minute that you are here with me, and I am praying for you every single day. Till next time, this has been Pit State. Peace.